I am the Red Cyclone! Ah!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to another episode of the It Gets Better I Swear podcast. I'm your host, Louis Beans, and I'm here with Wreck with the Mic.
I'm sorry for this Alone in the Dark review.
Unfortunately, it's what we have to do. We have the verdict.
We are continuing the verdict of all video game live-action movies that were had a theatrical released. And this week we have Alone in the Dark.
Unfortunately. Well,
but on good
before
news.
Before that.
Let's do the good news first.
Yeah, before that. So we could both talk about this really quick because we'll have only a few things to say about it. But the EA Play for 2020 happened this year, which was Electronic Arts showing off their games. This is still E3 season.
Yeah.
So all the big companies are still going to have events going down.
Good.
And this was theirs. For me, not too much came out. I did see some cool things that came out. I saw that, I believe they said Apex Legends is getting crossplay for all versions, and they announced the Switch version.
Yeah.
So that means Apex Legends now, another big free game that, much like a Fortnite. And then they have crossplay, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They made some announcements for The Sims being on Steam, which is whatever. I have the free Sims on PSN. I should play that. I should actually try that, but I don't really. The one that you said you might be interested in, Star Wars Squadron.
Yeah, that was the one that caught my eye because I always liked the Star Wars flight games. So like Rogue Squadron on 64, Rogue Leader, Rogue Squadron 2 on GameCube. Even being back in the day with Rebel Assault on the PC, TIE Fighter on the PC. I always liked the flight simulators and things like that. I like Ace Combat kind of games and stuff like that, so I always was into that. So that caught my eye. How I was going to play, I would like to see how it plays, how detailed it is going to be in your TIE Fighter and things like that. Like, are you going to be pressing all the buttons and things like that, or is it just a run and shoot kind of thing? So I want to see the depth.
Oh,
I want to see the depth.
You can check it out.
Yeah.
You can check it out. They have a trailer for it.
Yeah. I didn't see the gameplay.
Okay, so what it is what you remember from the older games.
Yeah.
The flying in space combat. They mostly show the cockpit view.
Yeah.
So you get to see the guns and stuff. The really iconic look for the Star Wars planes.
Yeah.
Or what plane? What are they called? Spaceships?
Yeah.
Do they have an official term for Star Wars things? Are they all
the spaceships? Yeah, Starfighters.
Starfighters. Okay.
Yeah,
So. No, but I know they have specific things.
Yeah.
So I want to get it right. But so that's what it looks like, is to be following those old types of games where I guess they were missing for a while, right? There hasn't been one
like that in a while. Battlefront was kind of a mix of the two. It was like the hybrid of it because it did have the starfights as well.
Okay. Was it the same company or the same style and feel?
Not as detailed, like it had the flight, it had everything, it had the space combat, but it wasn't as like that's the main focus. So this game is gonna be the main focus on it.
Did it feel like
it was kind of junky? You know which one actually had a good one? Lego Star Wars, The Force Awakening.
And is that the first? That's the first of those, or is it? No, the newer ones.
It's one of the newer ones. It was the last one that came out of the Lego Star Wars. They actually did the flight shit. Actually, pretty fun.
Was it closer to what you?
It reminded me of like the old school Battlefront, like Battlefront 2 on the Xbox and shit.
Wow. Okay.
So they did a good job with that.
So I don't know because, well, you said is that in order? What year did that come out?
The Star Wars one?
Yes.
Probably around the same time the movie came out. So I'll say.
Oh, so that's a while.
The Force Awakens movie came out, so it came out around the same time, so about maybe 4 years ago.
Okay. Because I'm just trying to get a gauge at who will be making it. Maybe those people are making it.
Well, that's Warner Brother Games, so
that's not even the same company.
No.
Oh,
The Lego games are made by Warner Brothers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they knew that that's what people liked, because to hear you say that it feels like an older Star Wars game sounds pretty good. So I don't know about this one.
Yeah.
I just know that it looks similar to the older ones.
Yeah.
Obviously with better game, graphics. So we'll see.
I'm fine with them actually playing around with that. Like, I'm fine with them doing the flight simulator and being that a main focus. It's going to be a highly thing to be online and things like that, but I hope there's a good storyline.
It looks like you'll be able to have huge battles in it. I think that's one of the things they were alluding to.
Yeah. So I just hope it has a single player. I hope they don't just cop out on the single player, and I want to see both single player and regular gameplay. So let's hope that has a complete game and not half a game like they did with Battlefront 2.
Yeah, I think they learned their lesson.
Yeah.
Hopefully they learn their lesson.
Yeah. But yeah. Again, I hope that's the only one I could really call my eye. Madden comes out every year, so it's always kind of the same thing. They don't really change. They haven't really changed Madden at all, so it's always kind of the same, similar gameplay. The Ravens quarterback, Lamar Jackson, is the one that's the cover guy, so beware of him of having the curse. It didn't work last year.
Is that if you're on the cover or something bad, have you?
Surprisingly, though, it didn't happen last year because the guy that was on the cover won the Super Bowl. So,
okay.
So last year was a curse broken. So maybe the curse stays broken. We'll see.
The last thing I wanted to talk about from this that looked interesting, but also kind of made me scratch my head, is that there's a game called Rocket Arena, 3v3 Rocket game. I'm looking at IGN getting this information, but I saw it when they actually debuted the trailer, and it has like an arena shooter mixed with a Fortnite because it's like a character game, but it's like legitimately closer to an old school game like Quake. And it's like but it's aimed at like younger like not children, but like young teens,
younger audience,
by the art style and what have you. And it's just that just seems weird, because like that's the exact opposite of what, I don't know, because rocket shooter is like, that's a specific thing. Like every gun is like a variation of a rocket launcher. You know what I'm saying? Like the old school types of things where it's like basically one hit and you just die. I wonder what type of spin they're gonna put on this whole thing. I know it's gonna be a character, a hero shooter, which typically means abilities like Overwatch. Things like that. So I wonder, but it looks like it could be actually interesting, and it also looks like it could be the most derivative rip-off BS ever. So I'm actually kind of, because it looks like if this thing, I'm just gonna say it now, it looks like it might be the next game to pop off. Who knows? The next shooter to pop off.
They got lucky with Apex. They didn't expect that with Apex, but Apex,
it's just made so good. It's so Respawn. That's why. So good.
That's like the beacon of EA is the Respawn.
Yes. True.
I was hoping to see of confirming of Mass Effect remastered.
I wish.
I was hoping.
That's kind of the only thing I really wanted. It was a Mass Effect. Yeah, just something, right? Are you telling me this entire generation is going to go by and those games never got remastered? That's crazy.
I'm surprised that it wasn't mentioned. I'm surprised a new Dragon Age hasn't been mentioned. I'm surprised that there's a lot of games off of EA that hasn't been put into the light just yet. But it's a weird time as well. So sometimes things are not fully developed yet because of the way they have to work now. So who knows?
True enough. And Skate 4. We're not Skate people, but I'm glad to see people are going to get Skate 4.
I'm 100%. Like I never played. I think I played Skate 2.
Okay.
I think, but I never really got into it. Like I hadn't got into a skateboarding game since Tony Hawk Underground, the first one. After that, I never played a skateboarding game again.
I stopped at 3 on PlayStation 2.
Okay.
The last one I played. It's pretty good.
Underground was cool. That was like more of a storyline.
No, 4. 4 was the one with the online lobby in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Okay, I remember that one.
Yeah. So we'll see. Good luck at EA with their stuff. There's still a lot of like things up in the air with the PS5 and their price point and things like that. A lot of analysts are saying $4.99, $5.99, but there's a lot of websites like trying to get you to pre-order for $700. So be careful with those.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the one interesting thing I've seen that might come to pass is that the value difference or price difference between the two might be $100, and that's probably okay.
That makes sense. That's like the Xbox straight digital edition with the Xbox S. They're like $100 difference.
I'll be honest with you, because of where most of my library is, it's fine.
Yeah.
I got like 3 games that are on disc, and one of them is Yakuza 6, but other than that,
yeah,
I'll be fine.
Yeah, like the disc, I don't know. I'm gonna get the disc drive just because I just want the availability of it if I want to use a disc. That's the only reason why I'll go for it. But I have been buying digital lately, but lately I've been trying to like support like the little local stores because a lot of them got hit in the way. So I've been trying to I'll buy the disc from them and just support the store and shit. Video Games in New York is one of them. We always shout out Game On in Long Island. They're another one that I always try to visit and spend some money and help those guys out because they've always been good to the community. So try to build and help them out as well.
Okay, good stuff.
What else? Yeah, I know Video Games New York's been open like the whole time. It's just they do. I think there's like 3 people per store in store, and mask must be provided, and mask must be worn, and then you could do per curbside pickup.
Okay.
Which I probably do Monday.
Okay. Cool.
Talking about Last of Us, you had like there's a lot of like mixed things with Last of Us Part 2 right now.
Yeah, I was asking you if you know any of what it's about, because you said you're playing it because you're getting ready to play it too.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, like, is it something that everybody knows about? But I think it's more. It might actually be spoiler stuff or story stuff. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to know.
What I've been reading, and this is from quite a few people. One of them is from. Kind of Funny Games. I was listening to the non-spoiler review of the game on their podcast, on the PS I Love You podcast. Definitely check it out. It's really great. It's Greg Miller and Blessing or IOA Jr. They do a straight PlayStation show, and it's a fun show. Anyway, they were talking about it, and one of the reviews, I think it was from GameSpot, was the problem with the game was not the game itself, but the characteristics of Ellie and how people cannot relate to Ellie, which makes her a kind of bland character in a way. And then also ways of how she makes decisions, and the decisions are not crazy. The thing about that, and I feel like it's expected from different games. When I play Naughty Dog games, especially like Uncharted and then right now Last of Us, I'm expected to get told the story. I'm not expected to make my own part of the story. I'm expected to be told the story, play through it, and inject myself into the story they're telling me. I do not see myself as the character, and that's the difference. When I play like Mass Effect, when you have a full creative character, or you just play like the basic model, but you're making decisions for them and things like that, that's a little different. Like, you feel like you're part of the character. I feel like you're doing the characteristic things and things like that. You have more control of the open world and things like that. Last of Us is a narrated game. You're going straight to the pinpoints. They have you going that way, you're going to go that way. And you may find things in between, but you're mainly going that way. You're not going around the world and looking up that building or going into that house and things like that.
Okay.
And I think that's where people are disliking the game, because the amount of choices you have, like you don't really have a choice. They're telling you a story, and they don't like her decisions.
Okay, there's also another thing that's going on too, is people are trying to Metacritic assassinate the game. So what they're doing is and actually I see there's something else that in one of the articles that I'll usually kind of just scroll past, but it showed up on my phone, was one that said that this is setting a precedent where they have to start evaluating whether or not number scores are still relevant, because so here's a different situation that's going on. It's not 100%. Well, this is one side of it. This is not the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
This is one that's actually catching national attention because I see Forbes talking about it. Like I was saying, it's like a big deal. It's a lot of people talking about it.
Yeah.
So, but apparently, from what you're saying, there's a lot of different things people are talking about.
Yeah.
So, kind of good. But
So
here's the problem part. So it looks like people are giving. So this is not one of those things like when people go, "Oh, it's Activision, fuck you, I'm voting it down." You know, like, it's not like that. It's like people voting badly because of how they feel, but they're giving legitimate reasons. But it's not the game.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not the game. Oh, this game sucks. This game is bad. It's I feel XYZ. And I don't want to put a good score because I feel this. It's like, so in that sense, people are taking it and they're reviewing it more like a movie.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
So look, I just Googled Last of Us Part 2, right? And the audience rating right now, the audience rating summary, you want to know what it is? A 2.1.
Excuse me? What?
A 2.1. Wow. But Metacritic score is 95%.
95%.
Push Square gave it 10 out of 10. Pocket Intel gave it 10 out of 10. I know IGN gave it a 10. I know GameSpot gave it an 8. I know it's a big mixed review depending on how you see the game, I guess, because it depends on how you deal with the characters. If I was saying, I'm playing the game. Again, this goes into Uncharted because they also had issues with Uncharted 4, I think, because of that. Because people couldn't wander the world. People couldn't really choose what Nathan Drake did because you're not supposed to choose what he does. They're telling you the story. You're just supposed to guide him to the story. And that's something that's part of that has a lot into the video game, especially Naughty Dog, the way they make their storylines. Their storylines are straightforward. Like, yo, we're getting you to this point, but we want to give you all this to get to that point. Same thing with Last of Us. And I'm playing in the early game of it. There's a lot of things that make sense in what they're doing. But it's also, you got to look at it kind of like Walking Dead in a way and things like that. Like, yeah, you get tired of characters. You get tired of this, you get tired of that. But you can't blame, if you're going to just shit on the game because it didn't do what you wanted it to do, then you probably didn't get the story in a way that you're supposed to get it. And maybe play it again and see if you actually understand it better.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see. The reviews are like, this game is bad.
Yeah.
But here's what it says. Aside from the incredible graphics and gameplay, what?
Yeah.
Those are the two major things, and you said the game is bad. It's like, this is incredible to see. People are so emotionally invested in the story of the game. It's like, wow, that's different.
Every person that gives it a bad review has to deal with one of the big storyline things that happen, and how she handles it, and what was the better outcome to do it or not. And they're going immediately on that thing, and they couldn't look at it in that way. As in, again, you have to kind of look at this as a movie in a way, but not like the acting wasn't bad, the voice acting wasn't bad, the narrative of the story is not bad at all. It's just more the fact that you can't handle the story and you don't like what you saw. I understand that, but to give it a shitty score and try to derail the game is not. you know what? It's your right, but then again, is like, all right, let other people play it and see what they think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most of the like the big reviews that we kind of look at for like game reviews, it got decent scores. Like it got from 8 to 10, depending on the company and depending on the people. There's on that same show on the PS I Love You show, they had a female on. I think she does What Up Games podcast. She had a different interpretation with the game than the three guys that were on the panel did, and I liked what she had to say because she goes more into Ellie's character, as in the character she couldn't relate to, and then that's the reason why she got pushed off the storyline because she didn't really care. They didn't make her care for the character. As in the first one, you cared about her more. In this one, you didn't really care for the character. And that was something that she brought up. And she made sense with it. She had a good point, but she didn't shit on the game either. She said the game was good. It's just I couldn't relate to what she was thinking in these certain storylines.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
There's a lot of, and I just telling me this. I see the people just saying all the story stuff. So I gotta stop looking at it. But wow, that's interesting because on one hand, people do have a right to say they're disappointed in the story. That's how they feel. Yeah. Like damn, like that drags down the score of a video game. That's so many of the same people are saying. Yeah, it looks great and it plays good. But damn, I can't stand this story.
But I think it's gonna affect the game? I don't think it is. I think people were hyped so much for it.
They broke records. It said one of the stories is like it smashes records in the UK. Like they ain't gonna be hurting. Yeah, for money. But I wonder if that changes how the level of trust with the fan base, because it's Naughty Dog, right? Yeah, and it's not just that they make the best looking or they have the best or stable engines or whatnot. They're top tier AAA. Yeah. But it's also they earn a reputation for the story. So I wonder now if that's going to do to the reputation.
So what I'll do, hopefully by this week, I will be playing part 2, and I will go in. I'll go out. You know what? I'm gonna go and look at a lot of the comments of people that actually will rely on their comments, than others I don't, but I'll go into it with open mind and see where it goes, because I'm actually enjoying part 1 for the narrative. I'm digging what they're doing with it and I see where it's going, but when I go part 2, I'll definitely play it and see how I feel about it, and probably have our own review and what I think they see in it, because I what I've seen so far, I understand where the story's going. Like it's a kind of a zombie movie, but it's more also a human, how humans are fucked up to each other as well. So it's a lot of things like that. Like even Walking Dead has done storylines like this. So again, it is what it is at the time, and it's a weird game playing in this moment of time too. Spider-Man is also a weird game playing at this moment in time. Sure enough, because it's about a fucking virus that they let out and shit. Yeah, it's really weird. But yeah,
and they was trying to warn people. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And it's sad that Norman Osborn looks kind of like the president, so it's retarded.
I mean, listen. Yeah. Kind of writes itself nowadays, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's really close to home kind of shit. And you're like, wow, this is insane.
You always think when people go, oh man, they're just saying stuff trying to get a rise out of somebody. Oh, they're just making that up. How little do we know how close to the truth they are? Huh?
Yeah, like the Simpsons predicting shit. It's not the fact that they predict shit. They're just very smart with what they write and know about what's going on in the world.
Yeah, this is true.
And the same thing with this. Who knew? Spider-Man warned us. We didn't pay attention.
Kojima warned us in '97. That's all I gotta say.
Right.
That's all I gotta say. Anyway, so I know you got some Power Ranger news.
Yeah, so Power Rangers are about to finish their season of Beast Morphers and going into Dino Fury, I think it's called. But anyway, they did their big team up episode. They do every season. This one brings the returning of the original Red Ranger, Jason Scott Lee, which is played by Austin St. John. It was a cool. It has a cool concept. It leads. There's an episode you gotta watch before it. Then it kind of makes sense with the villains and how they get the powers and stuff like that. So I recommend watch the episode before.
Can I ask a question before
Yeah.
you go? Is it because before you told me to be able to watch it? Is it something that's like you have to buy? Or
Oh, I
is it
found it
on
on
a specific
Facebook.
network?
I found it on Facebook. So I think you're gonna have to wait till the series finish, and it'll be on Netflix like right after.
Okay, gotcha.
So Netflix usually gets the whole series of Power Rangers. They do have the first half of the first season. They have the first season already, and I think they have the first part of the second season. So usually they go 22 episodes each. So this one's in the middle of the season so far. So it's almost done, but it's not quite done yet. They just do that big annual team up in the middle of the season and shit.
Okay, cool.
So what happened was a villain pretty much finds like a treasure, like a chest of all the. So the Morphin Grid is supposed pretty much. Beast Morphers made like a multiverse with the Morphin Grid. The Morphin Grid is what they powers everything in the world that they're in, and things like that. It's a lot of big, long story short, it's pretty much like their main power source. One of the villains is trapped inside the Morphin Grid trying to destroy it from the fin. He finds I guess the history of the villains' weapons they keep in a storage or some shit. I don't know how they got them because supposedly they destroyed, but whatever. Just play with just play with the show. So they found weapons of past villains, and each of the general henchmen grabbed a weapon, and it pretty much made them the character or a newer version of the character there once was. The one that stands out the most, because I don't know the names of the others, is Goldar. He grabbed Goldar's sword, and he grew into Goldar. He looked directly like Goldar with a little more high-tech and shit, but he also had a very similar voice as Goldar and his mannerisms. So it kind of had his soul of Goldar in it. And he was called Goldar Maximus or some shit like that. So they were like, oh shit, he started destroying everything, and then he needed help. So he started taking power off all the Rangers. They went to the Dino Charge world. He started taking their powers from them. Beast Morphers went to help them. The Red stood back. He got helped by Jason. They talked. He found the power coin, gave him the power coin. He flipped it up, and the multiverse came. And sadly, their budget only could afford 2 portals, and so 2 portals came out of the the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and the Dino Charge Rangers. The Dino Thunder Rangers. So they had all the Dino Rangers together.
Okay. Cool.
Super Sentai did this amazingly. America, not so much.
Wait, so this is the second time this happened?
So the Sentai, they had the original cast. Like I was telling you, they had the Geki, they had Boy, they had all those characters come back as the Rangers. As in this one, they only got like 1, and then the Dino Charge people, and they were missing one of the Dino Charge people. They didn't get nobody from Dino Thunder, nor the voices either. It's all like fake voices and shit too. So it was okay. But it was a cool concept with Goldar. Seeing the Red Ranger back as the Red Ranger and things like that was pretty cool, even though he should have kept the beard because he looks very, very chubby. And he look like when he changes to the Power Ranger, it doesn't look like him at all. He grew like 100 pounds less, and I was like, well, that's bullshit. But then maybe the whole Justin thing happens, and it just gets you back into shape when you wear the suit. But yeah, it was a okay team up. It was a build up thing to have Jason back. It was nice seeing him back on Power Rangers as well. There's a lot of big rumors of Billy coming back for next season as a mentor. So I'm actually hoping on that more than this team up. Like as Billy as a regular character on Power Rangers as a mentor, that he created a morphing power and shit. That would be fucking dope.
Okay, cool.
But it was good. It was well worth it. I think it's one of the final episodes of Beast Morphers. We are ending Beast Morphers very soon, so Once we are finished and it's accessible on Netflix, we'll be reviewing it on the Morphin Cast. So I think after Go 5, which is Lightspeed Rescue Sentai, we'll be going into the Beast Morphers if it's available, or we just keep going from there. So we'll have a verdict before then.
So how's the latest Super Sentai that you guys are reviewing?
Right now we're doing Lightspeed Rescue, so we're not in a Sentai yet.
Okay.
We're doing the Lightspeed Rescue American show, and then we do the Sentai, which is Go 5.
Gotcha.
But
Wait, which one is first?
Well, we do
In
American then Sentai.
No, I mean, in that case, do you know, is it always Sentai then American?
Yeah.
Or is there some cases where it's different?
The Sentai always come out before
Always,
America
okay.
because they had to get the footage. That's how they get footage.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. They don't do original show.
Yeah, they do a lot. They've done a lot more like lately. They do their own little things, but like most of the fight scenes and shit are all Sentai.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah. So now the verdict.
Womp womp. So, we're unfortunately for this week, we're gonna do the verdict for Alone in the Dark from 2005, specifically January 28th, 2005 in the USA.
Yeah.
This movie is an hour and 36 minutes of pure tragedy, directed by Uwe Boll. You might know him from House of the Dead. You will know him more for other movies. Please stay tuned.
You're gonna get to know him more, a little bit more and more. You wanna know why? Because we got 4 more of his fucking movies to review.
Not good, not good.
Yeah.
This movie stars Kristen Slater as Edward Carnby, Tara Reid as Aline Cedric, Stephen Dorff as Commander Richard Burke. That's pretty much all the people that you might know.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't know Frank C. Turner, Matthew Walker, Will Sanderson. Like, this is after the main 3 people. I start to get a little hazy, but some people do return from Uwe Boll's past. If you notice, 2 of the soldiers,
Yeah.
where one of the main soldiers was the guy that died in House of the Dead. He got like, these are like one of the first ones of the Friends group to get swarmed by zombies, and they just lost him. So he's in this movie as a soldier. And then the woman who was the female lead in House of the Dead,
Yeah, she's
she's a female soldier. Yeah, so like, you see, he keeps his people.
At least, like, we're gonna fuck up your career. I might as well pay you to wear our shitty movies.
I just I bet you they think they're going so far. They're like, man, I'm in a movie with Kristen Slater, Stephen Dorff, and Tara Reid, who were popping off. She was popping off at the time. Kristen Slater is just famous, and Stephen Dorff, he fluctuates because he's.
Tara Reid was doing pretty bad at this moment.
No, this was before. I think it wasn't this before she had a meltdown, or was this after?
No, it's after.
Was it after? Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
2005. She already had a whole.
Because she already, and then she did this movie.
Because I thought she stopped acting, and then she didn't. I thought she came back for, was it Sharknado?
Yeah. So it was after this movie then, because that was the last
Yeah,
one.
that's what I'm saying. Because she took a big break.
Yeah.
So, but it would be safe to say that she's not irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know, people know who she is.
Yeah.
But other than that, no. So we don't. You said you think the story is based on the 2001 game?
Yeah. It looks more towards
there are
that
more
game.
than one games in the Alone in the Dark series.
Yes, there are a lot. There's 3 that were based on the PC back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then
You said 90s, right?
Yeah. And then they had the one on 2001, which I could say this one is based on because the time frame. Because then they had one after of the movie that was Alone in the Dark that came out 2 years after. And
oh yeah, that's right. There's sequels,
yeah,
but they didn't get theatrical releases, right?
no, so we don't have to watch them.
So we now have, okay. Thank you.
The same thing with House of the Dead sequel. It's not theatrical. We ain't watching it.
But we do have to watch Far Cry, don't we?
Yeah.
Shit.
And Blood Rain. Blood Rain's at the next
Blood
week.
Rain, I don't mind. Blood Rain, I don't mind. Blood Rain, I don't mind.
And
It's
Postal.
not great, but I don't mind it.
Postal.
You said that one's okay.
That one was okay. It was just silly.
Yeah. No, this movie was not good.
No, no brainer.
So, the basic rundown is that Christian Slater's character, who is Edward Carnby, is a paranormal detective, which he calls himself, because you find out soon that he's not a detective anymore because he's not in the group anymore.
Yeah.
He's just a guy with the skills. He got booted out for, I guess, for following something when he wasn't supposed to. Like, he kept pursuing this case.
Yeah.
And it looks like they didn't want him to. And I don't even think they really dive into how he got booted out.
Yeah. No, they didn't.
But they very early in the movie, it makes it clear he has an obsession.
Yeah.
And it's kind of presented it with him talking in third person, so you know he's the main character and everything.
Yeah.
Talking about what he does. He's kind of like they frame him as this badass character, which is kind of like this video game character. He's a paranormal detective. He's supposed to be cool and able to use weapons that nobody's ever seen, knows about these things nobody knows about. Almost immediately the movie breaks out into a chase scene, and this superpowered dude tries to kill him, and you find out that technically he's a part of the same thing he's been trying to explore the entire time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of wrapping back around, and these people, I guess you see that later on, it does end up being that he was an integral part of like the entire thing the whole time. So I don't know, his character's kind of just, he feels like a movie character.
Yeah.
This is like a dumb movie character. It doesn't feel like there's any depth. There's any like, the acting is like, I told you, it was like, yeah, it's an alright sci-fi movie, but it's not great.
Yeah, like
If
again,
it's on
this,
Sci-Fi Channel,
yeah,
you know, I'd be like, okay, it's not the greatest acting you've ever seen, but this is far from as bad as even House of the yeah, it's not as bad as House of the Dead, because at least they're not badly acting in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, the lines might not be anything. Even Tara Reid's not, like you said, she's not convincing as her character.
not at all.
Supposed to be this incredibly intelligent, like, archaeologist assistant, I think she is. She just kind of seemed like a lady that works there.
Yeah.
Like, she just memorized all the words of the complicated stuff that she has to be touching.
She lied her ass off on the resume, and she got the job, and she's like, "Fuck, I gotta fake it till I make it."
Yes, yeah, basically. She seems like she's really good at memorizing things.
Yeah. And then how Christian Slater learned how to like kung fu fight?
Well, look, his character has a past and all that, and he's supposed to be shady. So you can, if he's gonna end up being a member of this select group, because they make sure to tell you 15,000 times the 713 throughout this movie. So I give it to him.
Yeah.
But it's just, it doesn't feel. I know what you mean. It doesn't feel earned.
No, it was really bad.
You just drop into the world, and
so
he's just a badass.
I have my one scene that just like gave me these chills, and I was like, "Fuck!" There's like another hour to this movie.
Oh damn!
So
Okay.
when the I guess it's a zombie or some dead guy, or I don't know, he got shot in the heart twice and still walked. When then he got stabbed through her chest, and then it worked. So I didn't understand that. I don't understand that concept 100%.
They explain that. They explain that later.
Okay, yeah, but yeah. Anyway, he did a lay down flip kick without moving his arms, or like not even a kick up. He did a flip kick, as in someone, the ghost, lifts him from the air and flipped him over.
See, this is the part. This is what I had to say about Uwe Boll.
Yeah,
That's all him.
yeah,
He constantly wants scenes where it's just action for action's sake.
yeah,
Impossible action. Remember in House of the Dead when they were
Yeah.
just floating in the air
Yeah.
doing things? He just keeps doing that.
Yeah,
Constantly.
There's some like weird, like there's no uncalled for shit in this movie. And then yeah, they're going into their thing and whatnot. Yeah, that was like very douche-chilling. And then the action scene, the CGI and action scenes are just
CGI is not there. And this is heavily reliant on CGI because the main monster is CGI.
Which are we'll talk about the Zeopho? What are they called?
Call them Xenos.
Yeah,
nickname.
Yeah,
I'm just like, it's so cheap.
Yeah,
this movie is so lazy. It doesn't like you said. You didn't even feel like his character should have been as badass as it was. It just didn't even sell you on it.
Yeah.
And then they had the nerve to call something a Xeno. That's a slap in the face to Alien. How dare you?
It's just shoot him.
But I'm just like, there's so much to this movie where it's just, oh my goodness, it's him. It's Uwe Boll. I can feel it. I can sense it. It's like after I watched House in the Dead, I know how he makes movies, and I keep seeing it. I keep seeing it pop up. My favorite part of this movie that just made me go, fuck this, was maybe like 45 minutes in. I was following along. This part of the story where I'm like actually engaged with like trying to follow it. Like besides that stupid flash kick that was just out of nowhere, it looked like something out of Hercules and Xena. Like it was like old school. Like, see what I'm saying about the Matrix warning things?
Yeah.
They just tried to put Matrix shit in here for no reason. But there's a scene where they're fighting they're not aliens either.
Yeah,
they're an underground. Not race, species of like monster. I don't know.
Monster roaches.
They're like cave dwelling lizard people, but they're super aggressive and buff.
Yeah.
And they have these parasites that they put in you that turn you into an agent.
Yeah.
That belongs to that will follow the leader or whatever.
Yeah.
But they have a standoff where Christian Slater's character, he's in his immaculate, hero studio. You've seen him in mad movies. I can't tell you how many action movies. Yo, where are these apartments at?
Yeah,
where these dudes live in? They obviously make no money because they're always bummy. Like, it's true. It's like, yo, that's a staple. I hate that. It's like Daredevil reminds me of that. Even though he's a lawyer, but he was broke. No, but he was broke. I'm talking about the show.
No, but he had money when he first started a law firm, and then he decided going independently, and that's why he became broke. But he used all his money for the law firm.
I'm just saying, he had that apartment. He had the hero apartment.
Yeah, he did.
That, what I'm talking about. Like, you could expose brick.
Yes.
Basically living inside of a what do you call, a renovated warehouse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. He got the elevator, the fucking freight elevator.
Yeah.
To get in. Freaking. Dude, we just described this, and I just realized I watched Ghost Rider, and he has the same apartment. I hate that shit.
But he was a famous stunt driver, though.
No. I get it, but it's just like it's a trope at that point.
Yeah,
they all live in that. Like, is that just what every dude in an action movie aspires to live in?
Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Spider-Man proves them all wrong. He had the shittiest little apartment ever.
Well, he had the most realistic.
He had one bathroom that he had to share.
Mm-hmm.
And he couldn't open the damn door correctly. He had one window.
Like, if that was... kudos to that for the realism, because that's... on a hero budget, that's what you'd be able to earn.
And then...
You lose your job at the high-tech corporation, didn't save your money, but you got skills that you cannot use in the legal world. Yeah, you'd be a fucking bum.
Yeah.
Unless you were a mercenary. In which case, you had to watch your ass. Which kind of makes sense for you to live in a place like that,
Yeah.
But anyway, again, he has this giant trope apartment. And then the 713, they break in to save him and his girlfriend from the monsters, because there's one that gets into his house because in the end, it turns out that the scientist, he's a scientist, the scientist who lived under the orphanage, where he grew up, which was, I mean, when you look at the plot, it's pretty fucked up. Like, so the scientists were using the orphans to find something to fight them, I guess. But it seems like in the end, he was consumed by power, because once he could control them, he was just gonna kill people and take over. It was like, well, all right, because towards the end of the movie, he's like, it's all your fault. If you had had an escape back then, we probably could have stopped this. And it was like, well, I guess. But none of his experiments really led to that. So yeah, he's a liar. But I guess it's supposed to be the big showdown, the Christian Slater versus the monster. And this movie is kind of built like a thriller, where these things are treated like the thing that's in the shadows. I can barely see them. You see them for like a minute and then they're gone. They jump all over the walls. They treat it like the alien. Yeah. For the most part. Until they don't. And this is kind of the scene where they don't. And it's just, he's shooting his gun with the light bullets that he gets from the doctor, and he kills one, and then there's more, and then the guys show up through the roof, and it's just lights, and it's just shooting, and it's just the metal music just kicks in, and it's just what the fuck. Ridiculous camera cuts and angles are going on, and the entire time it's just bad CG. Yeah. And I had to sit through that. And it was like 5 minutes long. And I was like, oh my God.
It looked like they were just shooting at a wall. And then the aliens are like, hi. And shooting at a wall.
Yeah. And it's just nobody's hitting anything. And the bullets don't hit anything because the bullets are CG. And it's just like, this sucks. Yes. And I had to sit there and watch that. And it's just, I sat there purposely to see it all the way through so I could see how bad it was. So I could be like, I'm not forgetting this. This shit sucks. Yeah. It was a literal music video in the middle of his movie, and he likes to do that. Yeah, and that.
Yeah, we got that in House of the Dead.
He did it in the House of the Dead.
He had the rap song.
I have a fear that is going to be in every one of his movies.
Are we gonna get a rap song in Blood Rain?
No, I think there's going to be
I'm excited
an action
for that.
Sequence with her killing people, killing vampires to some fucking rock orchestra. Yeah. And maybe some woman softly singing in the background.
Like Evanescence. Or like the bootleg Evanescence, because they can't afford Evanescence.
Did she? No, but didn't Blood Rain come out before Underworld?
After.
Really? Oh, he didn't even do that. Damn. I can't give him credit for nothing.
He copies everybody.
Copies everybody.
Very badly, too. Like, he gave you a formula. Yeah, you just went the whole other way.
Yeah, he's very derivative. It's like I told you earlier, I was like, it's like you gave 2005 to a foreigner, and just said make a thriller, but you can put guns in it, and
that's trying to make it.
So I want to make a movie with the aliens and guns. Yes. And Christian Slater, he can be the main guy. Yes. Just like, that's it.
Yeah, this movie was dude.
Yeah, it was just really, it's very, 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 very plain and not great. Yes. It tries to be a great, like, action thriller, and it's just really boring. So I can't recommend it. I would give it a 2. I watched it to the end, and again, it wasn't offensively bad. It was just, there was too many things in it, which is making me just mad for the future. Yeah. That I have to watch more of this guy's stuff, because this is the first movie post House of the Dead. Yeah. I know his style, like I said earlier, and I saw this movie. Yeah, I saw it was his style. Yeah. You can't even get good actors to do his style. It's just you can feel it, and it makes it bad.
At least he's sticking to his guns, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to give him credit for anything. I'm gonna give it a 1. It's bad as House of the Dead. It's as bad as Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I think it's I found the movie just boring as shit. At least House of the Dead, I was a bit more there were more parts that I laughed at, even though I hated the movie as well. So at least I had more giggles off of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna rank, I'm gonna give it a 1, and that's tied with Mortal Kombat Annihilation and House of the Dead. And on the ranking is gonna go right underneath House of the Dead. It's in my last slot.
So he's batting 2 for 2 right now.
Yeah, he's in my last slot. Where you put this movie? So you want me to remind you of your standings?
Nothing can be lower than Annihilation.
Nothing can be lower than Annihilation?
No.
So
if I put something lower, unless it was House of the Dead.
No, you put House of the Dead over Annihilation.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, nothing can be lower than Annihilation.
Okay. So Alone in the Dark goes on the House of the Dead, or House of the Dead goes on?
No, it goes under House of the Dead. At least House of the Dead ended up having charm. Yeah. It was so bad it was funny. Yeah. This wasn't funny. This was a serious ass movie with serious actors and actresses, and this was a bad sci-fi movie. Yeah.
Should have been a sci-fi movie. I would accept it.
It should have. Yeah. It should have been a sci-fi movie.
So, a wrap up of our movies, video game reviews. So far, our rankings is Mortal Kombat number 1, Super Mario number 2, Double Dragon number 3, number 4 is Street Fighter, number 5 is Tomb Raider, number 6 is Resident Evil 2, number 7 is Resident Evil, number 8 is Tomb Raider 2, number 9 is Ring Commander, and this is where the list changes. For mine is MK2 at 10, House of the Dead 11, Alone in the Dark 12. Yours is House of the Dead 10, Alone in the Dark 11, and MK2 at number 12.
Yes, sir.
Everything else is straight through. Anyway, next week we got the first Dwayne The Rock Johnson movie in our countdown, which he's not even the star of the movie. That's fucking bullshit.
I know.
Doom.
Nope.
The movie Doom. That'll be this next week's verdict. Our video game theatrical movies. And I guess that's it.
Yes, sir. We can wrap it up. Thank you for listening to another episode of the It Gets Better, I Swear podcast. Make sure you follow us anywhere and everywhere. RedCycloneInc. That's Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, SoundCloud, where you can hear this and the Wrestling Babble podcast. And check out the Facebook group, also RedCycloneInc, and the WordPress. And also make sure to check out the Onimusha 3 playthrough going on.
I'm watching it.
Yes, sir. And stay tuned. There will be more. There will be some new content pretty soon. So
yes.
Check it out.
Follow me on all social medias. I'm on Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud, Twitch TV, all Mark the Mic. Follow our Facebook pages, the RedCycloneInc and the Wrestling Babble pages. With the Game of Rage podcast, definitely listen to those of the past. I got challenged with Paperboy. Tommy got challenged with Spider-Man versus the X-Men. I'm gonna try to Twitch my Paperboy run, probably sometime this week. So definitely check it out, and I'll have it probably co-op side by side with the podcast when we actually record. Check out all the other casts, the Morphin cast, the Not a Trekkie, and the Shell Shock. And I'll check out the Wrestling Babble podcast and all our past Guest Brothers Rarecast. If you want to hear all the other reviews of the verdicts we gave for the other video game movies, check our past cast. We've been doing it for 13 weeks so far, so definitely check it out. Well, going on 13 weeks. Doom's next.
Yes, sir.
So peace out, laters, and
be good humans, y'all. Be good humans.
Give Jinkies the DVD, the Blu-ray DVD of Alone in the Dark, and a sandwich. Because I want him to see this shitty CGI. I appreciate Power Ranger CGI a lot more now. I do. I 100% appreciate their and they have a budget. They are very low budget. So, and their TV show.
So bad.
There's no excuse for bad CGI. Oh, there is excuses. It's just
not bad CGI in a bad movie.
At least we get a break from Iwunbo for a week at least.
Yeah,
because after Doom is Blood Rain.
Oh man. Oh boy. Yay.
It's Blood Rain, and I think Dead or Alive.
You know the one good thing from Blood Rain that I played was the digital game that came out on Xbox Live Arcade.
Oh, that was actually a good game. I actually liked the first Blood Rain game too.
Really?
It was kind of honky, like it had glitches and shit, but it was actually like it played very similar to like Devil May Cry in a way, like that kind of style. It wasn't bad.
Okay.
She was in Playboy too.
The actual oh no,
naked,
the
yeah, the naked video game, yeah.
The fake, yeah, the actual character model. That's weird.
All right, peace out, laters.
Peace. Out.